Welcome to Cross the Line Sports. My name is Carlos Smith here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Right now I have with me a member of the Myrtle Beach Pelicans, right fielder and center, Mr. Jacob Wetzel. Jacob, how you doing?
Good, how about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking the time to sit with me and have a conversation. I know you got to get ready for today's match, and hopefully the rain will hold off.
I hope so.
But just talking about, doing a little bit of recap. I know last night you guys had a game and it was suspended. You got to get ready to play again around 5 o'clock. Does that throw off your rhythm when you have a game and then it has to be postponed to the next day?
Not so much. I mean, we try to stay ready pretty much no matter the situation. And coming in, we're coming in 10th inning, 11th inning, so we're gonna have the same intensity, if not even more, because it's whoever scores the first run is gonna win the game. So I think everyone's ready. I mean, ready for whatever. I mean, we need to win this game, so we're gonna be intense.
When you play a team so many times back to back, is there anything that surprises you once you have to play them over and over in a series, or is it pretty much you just find you already have your rhythm going?
I wouldn't say anything's surprising too much. It's you play the team six days in a row, so for me as a hitter, what I find interesting is how the pitchers and how their staff works against us. So as the week goes on, we kind of develop a better plan to be a little more successful at the plate.
At the moment, you guys are under 500. I know it's a long baseball, it's a long season. You guys have plenty more games to go.
Yeah.
But is it somewhat of a sense of urgency just because you don't want to get too far behind earlier in the season? Do you feel like it's like somewhat of a sense of urgency right now?
Early on, I believe we felt that. We're a new group. We haven't really played with each other that much, but I feel like each day we're starting to come together more and more, and that's what we're missing early on. But right now we're bonding a lot. We're communicating better as a team, and I feel like we're amping it up, and we're going to start winning ball games.
What do you look for personally in your game to try to establish early in the season?
For me as a hitter, I try to bring confidence to the plate. I mean, get on base and steal bags. I pretty much do whatever I can just to make the team successful.
I see a lot of athletes, they say you get in shape by playing the sport, whatever sport it is that you play. So for you, how are you feeling so far body-wise, as far as in a rhythm? How are you feeling is your body as the season starts, early in the season?
I feel great. I mean, there's each game, you get out in the field, adrenaline gets you going, but I feel great. I mean, that's what the off season's for, get your body ready, and coming in here, I feel great. Every single day is another opportunity, so I want to go out and dominate that.
I saw you were signed to the Cubs last month, and now you're with the Pelicans. Can you explain kind of what that transition is like? You're going a little bit back and forth, because for me, I cover a lot of basketball, and I know some of the guys in the G League, sometimes they're on a two-way deal, so they'll get pulled up to play one of the teams I've been covering was the Chicago Bulls. So some of the guys get pulled up to the Bulls, and then they go back to the G League. Can you talk a little bit about how that transition is for you in baseball?
I mean, it's a little different, but, I take every day as a new opportunity, so I don't look too much into it. If I'm on the ball field and I'm playing ball for this organization, it's a great organization, I couldn't be happier where I'm at.
Is there what would you say is kind of the biggest difference between the two games? Is there a glaring difference between the style of play?
Yeah, I mean, it's consistency. Guys know what they're doing, and they execute at what they want to do, so that's probably the biggest difference.
At this point in the season, would you say you're somewhat paying attention to the numbers that you're putting up right now at this moment, or are you still just, I'm just going to try to find my rhythm, get into a groove, and then later on down the season in the stretch, somewhere between the midway point down towards the stretch, is that when you start, paying attention to your game overall?
Yeah, I like looking at numbers, but early on, it's not something I worry about. I just worry about being under control, being where my feet are, and trying to have really good quality at bats, and that's my main point of focus right now. I'm not too worried about numbers because numbers will always come.
Speaking about stepping up at bat, when you get up to the step up to the plate, what's your thought process for people watching this interview as far as, like, because I always hear one of the toughest things to do is play baseball, is hit a ball, especially when it's coming 90 to 100 miles an hour. That's one of the toughest things to do. Like, when you step up to the plate, what's your thought process? And because in a split second, the ball is right there.
Yeah.
So can you describe, like, what's going through your mind, like, in that once you step up to the plate?
Yeah, so, I mean, it like, going to the plate, it starts, like, your at-bat starts before you go up. So, like, we have a plan, we have our approach. But once you get up to the plate, I mean, you're competing. Like, I try to stay out of my mind because I let my body do it. Like, because we're in the cage, worked on it all off season. So, for me, it's just straight compete mode. Like, I know what this guy has, I know what he wants to do, and at that point, it's just competing and trying to be better than him.
How much of it would you say is just baseball as much of a mental game as it is physical? Because we hear all the time that most of the majority of the time guys strike out more than they actually hit the ball.
Mm-hmm.
How much is it just like, is it a mental game, knowing that more times than not, you're not going to be able to hit the ball as much as you would like to?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more mental than physical for sure. I mean, because there's so many things that could happen, so many different scenarios, and you got to be mentally strong because, you're not going to go up and get 3 hits every day. So you got to come to the plate every day with a strong mind, strong approach. But I'd probably say it's 90% mental.
All right, absolutely. I did a little bit of research, and I saw that you played football in your younger years.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yes, I did.
What skill sets would you say translated from playing football over into baseball?
Definitely strength and speed. I feel like that's where I got the most out of football. I mean, coming in here, like, there is a difference from my body type to other guys because playing football, I mean, if you're 140, 50 pounds, you're not going to be successful on the field. I mean, you're just going to get manhandled. So freshman in high school, being in the weight room, like training like 3-4 days a week, that helped me so much as a baseball player.
We got a few more questions, and we'll get you right in so you can get ready. Earlier we mentioned, having new guys come in and, just trying to find a rhythm. Similar to what, like I said earlier, was going on with the G League. Can you talk a bit about, like, how important it is to build that chemistry? How do you get guys to buy into what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, it all starts with introduction. We got a lot of characters in the clubhouse, so go up, introduce yourself. I mean, get to know the guy, and, like, it's just smooth sailing after that because it's kind of like dominoes. Like, once you, like, meet someone, like, everything's just gonna fall into place after that.
Absolutely. You have finishing up today's game, finish up last night's game, and then you have to play the Green Jackets. I mean, you have to play them again. How important is it to close out these 2 games today before you get on the road?
It's huge. I think it would be a huge confidence boost for the club because we didn't have the best start, but coming out and finishing strong this week, it's really what we need, and we're looking forward to get 2 dubs today.
My final question, and we'll get you out of here on this. I spend a lot of time, covering college football and spending time, working with the NBA and the G League. And what I love to see is how the guys interact with, like, the younger kids and athletes, because eventually they want to pursue. Some of them do anyway. Want to pursue to be in a position that they're already in.
Yeah.
So as we close the interview out, what advice would you have for those young athletes? Because when they come to these games, some of these kids are aspiring to be where you are. What advice would you have for those young athletes that are pursuing their dreams? Yeah,
I mean, I could say so many different things, but I think the most important thing is, like, when you're on the field, whether you're in the gym, on the track running, like, you can't take that moment for granted. Like,
absolutely.
You be in your moment and you take advantage of, like, what God has given you. I mean, say you take 1 day off, like, and you give 80% instead of 100, like, that means everything. So, like, whatever you're doing, weightlifting, hitting, fielding, you take every single advantage you get to get better. I mean, it's simple as that.
Yeah, I think kids, as we wrap this up, I think a lot of kids, because they're so young and they're in that moment, even when adults try to tell you, these are some of the best times of your life and take advantage of it, you don't really understand, like, how important those times are, especially when I was in high school and going to college. I didn't really appreciate it until after college graduating, and then I'm out here in the real world. I'm like, oh man, I see what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Now. So just the message of running all those sprints and lifting those weights and going, giving it 100%. I would fully encourage kids to do the same thing. Did you have a particular moment for you? Were you the importance of that moment? Was it high school, college, or now?
I'd say it was probably like early high school, middle school. One of my baseball coaches, travel coach, he talked to us a lot about like the importance of all the stuff we're doing. And he'd always say, you'll look back on the day, like, 10, 15 years, and you'll look back and you'll feel that, like, if you didn't give that 100%, like, you're going to regret it. And, like, every day you can't show up. Like, it's hard waking up every day, giving 100%, and, like, you'll look back at some days, you're like, oh, I wish I did that, I wish I did that. And, it's truly a grind, but he really opened my eyes because every moment matters in your life. And I think that's important.
Absolutely, because being an athlete, at some point, no matter who you are, like I always say, even Tom Brady, eventually you're going to have to hang it up. Now, I'm assuming he's finally done, now. But, Jacob, thank you for your time, man. Good luck today, and best of luck going on forward for the rest of the season.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Yep.